I have been to the flower market. I've just picked up some beautiful white flowers. I actually already had some because I am getting ready for a dinner party tonight, and I'm going to be showing you guys everything that I do to get ready for a dinner party, dressing the table, getting the flowers ready, and even a bit of cooking.
Loving the outfit. Can
Thank
you
you.
let us know where it's from?
This cape is brand new and it is my whole entire personality at the moment. I love it. I'm so excited for autumn just to wear this. This is from Johnson's of Elgin. The trousers are also new. These are from Frame or Page. I'm going to link them in the description box. I think they might be Page. The boots are old. They are Sergio Rossi, and I'm being pulled by Pip, but if I can show you my bag, this is DeMellier, so I'll link it all in the box below.
And one more thing, I've been reading a lot of comments. Everyone's loving your skincare recently. Do you have any tips?
I actually filmed my skincare this morning before I put all my makeup on, so I'll share a little clip now. I've been really consistent with my skincare this year, and I think that's what's making such a difference, because I've been using the FAQ 202, which is this silicone face mask, for several months now, and the more I'm using it, the better the results I'm getting. If you haven't heard of the FAQ 202 before, it's a new generation silicone LED face mask, and you can see it's got this really soft, malleable silicone, so it's really comfortable to wear, and it can mold to fit any face shape. It's also completely wireless. You can wear it around the house, do jobs while you're doing it, sit and read, because it's got this lovely open section around the eyes. Let's talk about the benefits. It's got 8 different types of wavelength, including NIR, which can tackle signs of aging and other skin concerns. Improvements that I've seen with my own skin is it's reduced the fine lines, particularly around this area. It's minimised the size of the pores, especially on my cheeks. And I also feel like the tone of my skin overall looks a lot more even, less pigmentation, less sun damage, and less redness. If you'd like to check out the FAQ 202 or any of Foreo Sweden's bestsellers, you can use our discount code, which is Sophie P30. I'll put it in the description box, which will get you an extra 30% off almost all their products, even those that are already discounted. So now is the perfect time to check it out. I've had great results with it and highly recommend it.
Where's Pip's outfit from? He looks adorable.
He does. I mean, he's just naturally beautiful, but he's got this new harness that I got in Scotland, in St Andrews. This is from Barber. We got it in Scotland when we were up there over summer, and I absolutely love it because obviously we have Scottish in the family, and it's perfect for autumn. You do a sit. Do a sit. Oh, good boy. He's a good boy. Now, arranging the flowers is probably my favourite part of having a dinner party. I'm not going to lie, I absolutely love coming in here in the utility room and just having some quiet time to myself and arranging the flowers. I tend to do it the day before or the morning of the dinner party so that I'm not rushed, I've got plenty of time. One of my top tips that I wanted to share with you, and I've learnt this over years of hosting dinner parties, is if you don't want to have to buy too many flowers, instead of having one big arrangement or 2 or 3 big arrangements, go for lots of little vases, but also quite low vases, and you can still see the person on the table opposite. Now here you'll notice that I've got 3 different varying heights. I don't worry about matching all the vases. There's going to be lots of matching crockery, and it's actually quite nice to mix it up a little bit. These are a real mix of vases that I've collected over the years. This is a ceramic one that I got in Holland. This was just a really cheap sort of milk bottle type vase. And this was a gift from Baccarat from a client. I've got 3 matching ones that are very much prized possession. And there's one more I'm going to grab. Now this little one, as you can see, I do have a bit of a problem with vases. This is rammed full and I probably need to have a bit of a clear out, but I still haven't stopped buying vases. This one I bought last week from the White Company, And I love how it looks a bit like a pumpkin. I think it's perfect for autumn. They were selling out quite quickly. I think they're going to restock, but I did buy the last 3 that I could find online. So if you like it, I'll put the link in the description box. Now, when it comes to flower arranging, I always do the large vases first, so then you know you're not going to run out. And go for the ones that are taller so that you can always cut them down a bit lower if you need to. For the flowers today, I'm using a mix of spray roses, which are these really small, delicate roses, and then this is Astrantia. I wanted something that was quite sort of delicate and floppy, and where it's, you know, early autumn, end of summer, I wanted something that still felt fresh, but didn't take away all the attention from the beautiful crockery. So that's the tall vase, and then here you can see I've arranged the little pumpkin vase with just the Astrantia, and the same with the little ceramic one. So I'm going to cluster those going down the centre of the table. I like to get everything ready all at once. So on this side of the utility room, you might have seen this before if you've watched any of my previous videos, but this is the candle pantry, candle cupboard. As you can see, it's a bit of a mess, but it's very much well used and well loved. And the candles that I thought I would use today, I had a little look in here this morning, and sadly I don't have any intact new green tapered candles, but I have these ones left over from last Christmas that have burnt down a bit. And I actually quite like how they've got the the melted wax down the candle itself. I think it sort of adds a bit of character. So I'm going to reuse these ones. These candlesticks, I think from ECRU, I don't know if I'm saying that right. And these ones, and the candles themselves, I got in this gorgeous shop in Petworth, which is one of my favourite places to go. If you live in the UK or you're visiting the UK, I highly recommend a trip there. It's like the quintessential perfect English town with loads of antique shops and just beautiful architecture. Petworth House is there, which is well worth a visit. So I'm really excited to give you a little look inside this cabinet. This piece of furniture is my absolute favourite thing in the whole house. It's an antique that we got online and was stored in our garage for about 3 years until the dining room was ready. But a couple of weeks ago, I finally dressed it with all of our crockery. Every weekend, if I'm having like a moment of overwhelm or just need a little like pick me up, I know it's sad, but I literally come in here and I just open these doors and look at all the crockery. Now, as I said, this is an antique and we did a little bit of restoration to it. We added some supports because it had dropped, the doors didn't open properly. And then I've also added some suede lining to each of the shelves and even inside the drawers. And that has made such a big difference to how luxurious it feels, and storing the plates in here, it just feels a little bit cleaner because obviously antiques, there's like years and years of usage. And it's quite rickety, but now it feels like a lot more sort of clean and yeah, just nice to touch. I'm going to quickly talk you through my crockery collection. Won't make it too long or boring, but I'm really excited about this. So this is my most recent acquisition. I did a huge order with Rebecca Oodle. Everything that's going to be on this dinner table is from Rebecca Oodle. I love these plates, how they've got this scallop design. And I really wanted to get something that had green. I've already got a green Burley collection, which I think is really nice for winter. I love how sort of fresh this feels for summer and spring, but also autumn and winter. So that is the plate. Another thing that I ordered from Rebecca Oodle is these beautiful glasses, and you can see they've got this sort of rib texture and it's kind of twisted. This is all crystal, but you can put it in the dishwasher just at a low temperature, and that's really important to me because I'm too lazy and busy to wash everything by hand after a big dinner party. But they feel so nice, and I'll put the links for everything below. Then these, if you've watched our most recent video, you might have seen me talk about these. These are our latest product that we just launched with Addison Ross. They are salt and pepper grinders, and we've done them in 4 different colours. These are my 2 personal favourite colours. This one is grey, but it's quite a sort of warm grey, and I use that for the pepper. And then this is the taupe, which is slightly lighter, and I use that for the salt. But I just find they go so well with all my different crockery sets. For the scallop design, I also got the small bowls that you can use for dessert, and we're going to have an ice cream with olive oil and salt dessert, so I'll be showcasing those later. These are some old glasses I've had for years from Guax. Now these are hand wash only, but I do admit I put them in the dishwasher and they've been absolutely fine. And then this is another one of my treasured crockery sets. This is Regal Peacock from Burley, and I love that blue and white. We use this a lot in the summer in the garden. In here, these are my absolute dream. I've wanted this set for so many years. It's been on my Pinterest board. I've had screenshots of it in my phone for so long. This is by Sabre and it's real bamboo. The base, these are all hand wash. I wouldn't put these in the dishwasher, you'll ruin them. Again, I ordered these all from Rebecca Oodle, but they're just such a timeless piece. I absolutely love it. It really reminds me of the bamboo Gucci handbags from the 1960s. It's very sort of Jackie Onassis. Absolutely love these, and I'm so excited to dress the table with the crockery. In here, come and have a closer look. Look how nice this looks with the suede lining. Everything just fits perfectly. I think we got 12, 2, 4, 6, 8, oh no, 10. We got 10 of everything, and I just think this is beautiful. It's only going to come out for very special occasions because, like I say, I don't want to hand wash stuff all the time, but it's just a real sort of collector piece and something that we'll keep forever. And then we've got more of it here. This is the dessert spoon. Fork for starters, and a little starter knife. Now the next drawer that I've got is all of my napkin rings. I've got placemats. These were a gift, a wedding gift. You can see they're real silver, but they're a little bit tarnished with a P. And that was my friend Jessica and Eduardo. These I absolutely love are little name places. You can see you slot the card into the head, and they're little pheasants. So I'll get my name. These are from a dinner party that I had a while ago. We had a calligrapher do everyone's name. How cute is that? It just sits on the table like that. So I might use those today because I think they're really nice for autumn. And then some other favourite pieces. These are the napkin rings that I've bought from Rebecca Oodle for today. I just love the green and white stripes. I think that's really pretty. Great for summer, but I think it's also good for winter. I think you don't need to worry about all the greens matching perfectly. I quite like the fact that they're slightly different shades and it picks up all the different colours in the wallpaper. These are another favourite. These are by Crockery. These I only used in summer for on the terrace, but I think they're made by a collective of women in Colombia, and they aim to empower women artisans and create a long-lasting social change in their communities. All their products are 100% handmade. Love that sort of ethos behind the brand, but also love how fun they are. And then these were something that I bought from White Company last year, some little Oakleys, which I think are perfect for Christmas, but a little bit too autumnal for my table that I'm doing today. Next drawer is placemats. These ones are from our Addison Ross collection. They are faux shagreen, so they're all wiped clean, and they've got a suede back. Love those. But today I'm going to use these rattan ones. Again, I've got that scallop edge because I think they work really well with the scallop plates. And these are also from Rebecca Oodle. And then the last drawer, this is a combination of this Ralph Lauren dinner set that I got that's named after Gwyneth Paltrow, and it's got this kind of horn pattern that I really love. This was the first full set that I ever bought, and I still love it to this day. I think it's been discontinued, sadly. And then these bowls I picked up from Petworth, and they are Pinheiro, which is a Portuguese brand, and it's an artichoke. I love that for a summer salad. And then these are great for little canapes or little nibbles and crisps. Whenever I serve crisps, I hate doing one big communal bowl. I think it's something that I've inherited from my mother-in-law, but I know that she hates shared food. So I know when she comes around, always have little bowls of individual servings of crisps or nuts. So I've got 4 of those. So now I'm going to show you how I dress a table step by step. I always like to start with the placemats. I'm not going to put a tablecloth on this table. I haven't bought a tablecloth that I love yet, but also I just love this wood and like to see it. I'm going to layer it up with quite a lot of placemats so it still feels fully dressed. Now these beautiful linen placemats are from Rebecca Oodle, and what I love about them is that they've got this beautiful thread detail where you can see through it. And I like the fact that you can see some of the wood underneath, or if you had a tablecloth, some of that colour would come through as well. In terms of the spacing, you just want to make sure that they're equally spaced throughout. I might adjust this later on. I'm going to put it fairly close to the edge of the table because then when I add the charge and the plate, it kind of pushes it further away. And you want it at a comfortable distance for eating. You want everything symmetrical and balanced. So it's good to look around your table from all different angles before you layer it up too much, because then you've got a lot of stuff to undo. Now, if you're dressing different shaped tables, obviously here, I've got what looks like a rectangle, but it's actually an elliptical rectangle, so it goes slightly convex. It sort of curves out in the middle of the long length of the rectangle. That means that I'm not going to get a perfectly straight angle, so I can't have the placemats right on the edge. But if you were dressing a round table, you would want to go for just round charges or round placemats. These rectangles wouldn't work on a circular shaped table. Next up, I'm going to layer them with the placemats on top. I really want quite a layered look to this, and I think having more placemats does that. I'm going to show you with all the plates now, but obviously when we serve the food, the plates will be taken away. There'll be a warming drawer, but this helps keep the table look finished. Next up, I'm going to do all the cutlery. So I'll start with the knives and forks for the main course. Now, you always want to have the sharp edge of your knife pointing inwards, and I'm going to line them up with the embroidery on the lower placemat. We're going to be having a salad for the starter, so I've got a salad, a knife and fork going on the outside, and you want to leave just a couple of millimetres between. Now obviously this is all dependent on the design of your cutlery. Where these have got a chunkier handle and it's not all completely regular, you don't need to worry about being millimetre precise. People aren't coming around to judge you in your table setting, you would hope. This is so nice to see it all come together. When I first got this set delivered, I did do a little mini mock-up, but I didn't set everything up because it was a Friday night and I had to do the bed and bath routine, but I couldn't resist unpacking it all. It felt like Christmas with it all arriving. So it's really exciting for me to see this all come together.
Sophie, can you tell us who your guests are tonight?
I've got my family, obviously my husband and my children, and then we have some family coming from overseas as well. So we haven't seen them for a long time. We're really excited. So I just wanted to make them feel sort of special and welcome by having a dinner party rather than just going out for dinner.
And what's on the menu this evening?
It's all their favourite foods that I know they and my children love to eat. So we're having a tomato and mozzarella salad, just because even though it's autumn, it does feel quite warm today and it's kind of like the end of summer. And then we are going to have mushroom risotto, which is also one of my favourites, and I just feel like it's really comforting and warming this time of year. And then for dessert, we're going to go for a chocolate ice cream, wait for it, with olive oil and salt, which I know sounds controversial, but don't knock it until you've tried it. It just really brings out the flavour of the chocolate, the crunch, the coldness, the sweet and the kind of like savoury. It's amazing. So I'm excited for them to taste that. Now we just did a quick check. I thought that the spoon went facing to the right, but we just double checked it and actually the handle goes to the right. And the reason behind that is that when you've finished your start and your main, you can easily get your spoon by the handle and put it to the right hand setting. So I'm just changing that all now. And another interesting thing that I also just learned, I feel like you never stop learning, is that if you want to have a really formal setting, you do it face down, like that. But if you are having a more casual setting, this is just a casual family meal. I mean, casual, this isn't how we eat every day. I prefer it looking how it does when it's facing up. Obviously, when we serve the food, these will be taken away, but I just can't resist seeing it all together. Next up, we're doing the glasses. Now, we won't be drinking wine today, so I'm not going to bother with the wine glasses. And also, I think these just look so beautiful. Next up, I'm going to do the napkins. Now, I've gone for a matching design for the placemat, again from Rebecca Oodle. I'm going to use the napkin rings that I showed you earlier, but just to save time, I'm going to put them on each place setting. Now, I don't do anything too complicated when it comes to doing the napkin, mostly because I don't have any fancy skills, but I don't think you need to do anything too special with these. I think it's all about the design itself and the napkin ring. So I literally just pull it through. Even though I'm an interior designer and I'm in my 40s, I don't know if any of you watching this ever feel like this, but I have the occasional moment where I think, when did I become this grown up? And this is one of those moments where like I'm setting a dinner table for a dinner party with all this fancy tableware and crockery, and I just don't know how I got to this point. In my head, I still feel like a teenager, or at least in my 20s. But the other good thing about getting older is that you don't have to pretend to be cool or care about what other people think. You just can be into what you're into. And for me, that's looking at my crockery cabinet on a Friday night. I'd much rather do that than be out partying somewhere in a bar. So that's all the crockery and tableware done. Now I'm just gonna go and get the flowers. So for the flowers, where I've got all different heights, but I've got 3 tall vases, I'm gonna start with the tall vases and put them spaced equally and then just mingle all the others in between. This is looking so pretty. I'm really happy with how it's coming together. Quite like how it feels kind of wild as well. You really don't need that many stems when you do these little vases, because this is probably the equivalent of 1 small vase of flowers, but when you space it out in lots of little vases, it looks much more impactful. And then what I want to do is kind of zigzag them across the table, so they're not just in a straight line, but they kind of sort of meander down the table. You just walk around and check them from different angles, make sure they look right. Now I'm just putting a small side plate under each candle, which isn't a normal thing to do, but these candles, as you can see, do drip quite a lot, and I don't want them to drip onto the table when they're burning. And I actually think this looks really cute as well, kind of adds to it. I like to have matching crockery, but if you're going to supplement it with some side plates, I quite like mixing in different designs. And the burley works so well with the Rebecca Udall design.
So now the table's set, do you have any tips for hosting?
Tip number 1 is set the table well in advance. I normally do this the morning of or the night before, obviously not lighting the candles. Tip number 2 is dim your lights. The amount of dinner parties I go to at close friends' houses where I have to dim the lights, lighting makes such a big difference. Try and avoid overhead lighting. Make it more about candles, table lamps, and if you do need some overhead lighting, just like dim it straight down. Number 3, music. I think a lot of people forget about music, and that can really set the scene. We like to have fairly upbeat music, and then we crank the volume up as the night progresses. And just don't go too complicated with your food. Like if I'm cooking for a dinner party for myself, I think 8 is like the maximum I like to cook for. If we've got 10 people, because we've got 2 spare chairs, then we tend to do caterers. If I'm cooking myself, I always cook things that I can kind of prepare in advance. So roasts or soups or things you just stuck in the oven and forget about. That's my favourite kind of cooking. I don't want to be like in the kitchen while everyone else is having fun.
Do you have any tips on how to welcome guests into your home when they first arrive?
I would say, again, it comes down to scent. So like I always make sure that in the entrance hall we've got a lovely candle burning, maybe something by Bamford or Diptyque. Again, even low level lighting, from the minute they walk in, I want them to feel like they're in the place to be. So the music, the lighting, the candles, and we'll offer them a drink straight away. If we're having a big party and we've got people helping us, we might have someone there with a tray of drinks, and then we'll bring them through into the sitting room. This time of the year and in the winter, we'll have the fire burning, we'll have music, make sure everyone's got a comfortable seat. And my other top tip is when you're having a drinks reception in a living room is make sure that everyone has a table within reaching distance of their chair, because there's nothing worse than just awkwardly sitting down the sofa and holding your drink and you don't know what to do with that. So that's my top tip, and we've got a great one from Loom that I'll link in the description box.
How dressed up do you get for your dinner parties?
I get pretty dressed up. You know, I'm generally a shoes off household. Day to day, I just don't like shoes in the house, but I make an exception when we have dinner parties. I think everyone's made an effort to get dressed. I don't want the ladies to have to take their shoes off. So yeah, we get pretty dressed up, and I'll wear some nice heels, a nice dress. And then we have one handbag table. This actually looks like a mini dining table for Pip, but it's not. Whoever's got the most delicate bag, or whoever's like the most senior female, so if it's my mother-in-law, she gets this. This just gets put next to their chair there, so they can put their bag on it.
Is there anything else changing in this dining room?
Well, they do say a designer's home's never finished, but I love this room. I'm not going to change the wallpaper or any of the furnishings. We will be changing the floor next year in our renovation, but one quick update that we're going to be having very soon is we're launching a new collection with Loom. We've already got lots of furniture within these plinths from our collection. I'm going to do a little bar cut, and it's not going to be in exactly the same tone of wood. It's a slightly darker tone of wood, which is going to go in this corner, and I'm really excited for that. And another change that you might not have seen from last time I filmed in the dining room is this tree, which is a fake tree from Suffolk Nest. Really well priced, and I was so impressed with the quality. The pots from them as well. The only thing that I got additional was some real moss, which I've just put at the bottom. But this keeps moving around my home. I quite like how it goes with the olive wallpaper, so let me know what you guys think in the comments. Now that we have the table ready, we're going to move on to the food. And like I said earlier, I always like to prepare really simple dishes when I'm cooking for lots of people. So for the starter, I've got a mozzarella and tomato salad. I've already sliced up all the tomatoes, and I'm just going to put the mozzarella interspersed on top. So you don't want it to congeal when you put the balsamic and olive oil glaze on top. So I generally plate this up about maximum an hour before my guests arrive. Don't have to be too fussy about how you do it. And I've used a combination of yellow and red tomatoes because I think it looks pretty, but I also think they're really tasty. The quality of the tomatoes you choose for this dish really makes a difference. So if you can get vine ripened tomatoes, they really pack a lot of punch for this dish, but if you can only get normal tomatoes, that's fine too. So there you can see everything's plated up together. Next, I'm going to add a balsamic glaze with olive oil, but before I do this, I'm just going to add a bit of salt and pepper. Now this is another one of the colourways that we've got from the Addison collection. I like to put quite a lot of salt, a generous helping of pepper. Give that another mix.
I love your salt and pepper grinders. Do you have any more colourways?
Yes, I do. So we've got the taupe one that I already showed you, and then the one that I haven't shown you is the blue one. This I really love with the white, and I think that looks really nice for outside with my blue and white crockery. But that's the four colours that we've got, and it's got an antique brass knob on the top and a little detail. Back to the glaze. Just give that a really good whisk. Because the balsamic glaze is quite heavy, it tends to drop to the bottom, and you just drizzle that over all the mozzarella and the tomato. My kids absolutely love this because it's sugary. To finish it off, I've got some basil that I've already chopped. Smells incredible. And then you just put quite a generous helping on that. I love basil. So good for you as well. And then lastly, one last bit of salt and pepper on top. And that is the starter ready. Super easy, takes 5 minutes. For the main course, I'm going to make mushroom risotto. As I said earlier, this is one of my favourite recipes, and it's something that my kids love as well. So to start off, I've got 2 pans, and in the smaller pan, I'm going to just have this on a medium heat. I'm going to warm up the stock. This is some ready-made chicken stock that I bought yesterday. I'll put the recipe for this because I can't follow audio recipes in the description box as well. So for any of you that want to try this, you can look at it there. So whilst that stock's simmering away, I'm going to add these dried porcini mushrooms into the stock. They give a really lovely rich flavour. And then in this next saucepan, I'm going to warm up 1/3 of the butter that I've got into the pan. And I'm going to add all of these mushrooms in, as well as all of this garlic. There is quite a lot of garlic in this recipe, but it tastes amazing. It does get diluted with all of that rice. I'm going to cook that all at the same time. Now I find with garlic, you want to be careful not to cook it on too high a heat, otherwise it goes really bitter. So I've got that turned quite low down at first. This is not a healthy diet recipe, but it's very yummy. So once all your mushrooms are nicely golden, put those back in the bowl. And then I'm going to reuse the same saucepan because I don't want to make too much washing up. And you get just 2 tablespoons of olive oil. I've got extra virgin olive oil. Just turn that heat down. Then into that olive oil, I'm going to pour this shallot. This is 1 large shallot that's been finely chopped. And you don't want to get it golden, you just want to literally soften it. Just stir that in.
So Sophie, whilst you're cooking, I'm going to ask you a few questions.
Okay.
How's the Sophie Paterson Academy course going to?
It's going so well. We've had such lovely feedback. We actually emailed all of our academy students a few weeks ago and asked them if they could share updates on how they're getting on and if they could send us some mood boards that they'd created. And honestly, when the team showed them to me, I just thought, we've obviously done these in-house. Like, one of the designers has put these together. They were so good. I was blown away. Like, these people have got real skill, and it's just so nice to see them implementing all the lessons, all the stages that we're sharing within their work, and so quickly as well. Like, it's only been going 2 months.
So Sophie, I've noticed that your wallpaper that you're designing at the moment with the dogs are getting a lot of traction on Instagram. Are you enjoying the process?
I am loving it. I am literally obsessed with dogs. As you know, I'm obsessed with my dog Pip. And this project started about 2.5 years ago. I'm going to get totally distracted and forget about the shallots now. Just turn the temperature down. But let me show you a couple of the paintings. So these are the ones that I did last night. And what I'm loving about this, so I'm painting all these dogs. I'm going to turn them into like a park scene of a wallpaper and turn it into fabric. We're probably going to do it with Andrew Martin. And it will have a park scene with trees, loads of dogs, there's like ducks and pheasants, and it will be on a herringbone background. And I've just always felt like there was a real gap in the market for quite a sophisticated, colourful but not too colourful wallpaper design that would be perfect for nurseries, boot rooms, guest bathrooms. And what's been so nice is I've been like kind of sharing the process on our Instagram. I've been bad at not sharing it here. Loads of our followers have been sending me DMs and commenting like, please can you include this breed, can you include that breed? So I thought I was done. I've painted 50 dogs, but now I think I've got another sort of 18 that I need to do. But here's a mixture of them. These Westies are some of my favourites, and there's Bichon Frise and a Beagle and a Cockapoo. I've also got a couple of ducks. And the scales are all going to be like changed. So how we do this is we scan it, and then on Photoshop we'll sort of place them on the design, work out what the repeat is. But we've got a pug as well and some pigeons. I'll just show you a couple of more before I get too distracted. I've even done a little mouse because I find mice cute. Oh, and of course a whole page of miniature Dachshunds. Like Pip is going to feature heavily in this wallpaper. But we'll put the link to the Instagram post that I shared with all the designs. And if you see any that are missing, let me know in the comments because I might have time to paint a couple more before we go to print. Now, back to the risotto. Got totally distracted there. The shallots are all nicely softened. So now I'm gonna add in the rice. Just pour that in. And you just let that coat, and I'll stir that for about 3 minutes until it's completely coated with all the oil. So now the rice is completely covered with the olive oil. I'm just going to ladle in some white wine. We've got 100 ml, so you just want to do it a little bit at a time. And you've got to stir it in. It actually burns off all the alcohol when you're cooking, so you don't need to worry about serving this to children. There'll be no alcohol in it by the time you eat it. Smells really good already.
Loads of people on Instagram are curious as to when your next project is going to be installed.
So we just did project next to Buckingham Palace, and the feedback from that one was like phenomenal. But we've actually got another one coming really soon. The Peninsula project will be coming in a couple of weeks, Bella? Yes. A couple of weeks. We filmed it, it's just being edited, and it's a good one. I don't want to say it's our best one, but it's really good. So make sure that you check that one out in a couple of weeks' time.
What's your favourite thing about autumn?
Oh, autumn is one of my favourite seasons. I love like the changing of the like colours. I love the fashion. I think the fashion is probably my main thing. I love jumper season. I love like wrapping up, being cozy, going for long walks, sitting by the fire. I think the changing of seasons just makes me feel like fresh energy, ready for like fresh aesthetic. I love it. And bonfire night, like fireworks night, is one of my favourite nights of the year. Okay, so now the wine is all absorbed in, I'm gonna start ladling in that stock. Just do it one ladle at a time, and you want to stir it really thoroughly in between. So now all of the stock has soaked into the rice, it's nicely softened, I've just checked it. I'm going to stir in the last of the butter, all of this Parmesan, completely stir that in. Now, once all this Parmesan and butter is completely melted in, which it has now, I'm gonna cover it with a tablecloth and leave it for 1 minute. So that's now had 1 minute. And then I'm gonna stir in all those mushrooms that I cooked earlier, as well as the dried mushrooms that I had in the stock. Now, if when you're doing this you feel like it's a bit too congealed, you can add some more of your stock if you just hold back a little bit. So I'm just gonna do a little taste test. That's really good. I'm just gonna serve one small portion now to show you what it looks like. This looks so good. And then to garnish it, and I'm gonna add a little pinch of the parsley and a couple of flakes of the Parmesan. A little bit more salt and pepper on top. And you're done. That looks delicious. So for dessert, I'm keeping it simple again. This is a lovely gelato that I bought by Remio, and it's an Ecuadorian chocolate. And I've heated up my ice cream scoop, so hopefully this will go through it quite easily. I'm just gonna do 1 scoop of ice cream. I'm gonna drizzle the extra virgin olive oil on top. Not too much. And then getting your salt grinder, you just want to do a tiny bit. And I'm going to finish off with a couple of flakes of salt as well. This is some Celtic sea salt. It's got really chunky flakes, so it looks really aesthetically pleasing. And that is it done. Now obviously ice cream is coming at the very end of the meal and my guests aren't here yet, so I've just done 1 small scoop of ice cream and I'm going to eat it myself to make sure it does taste good. That's really good. I think I might need another bite. Delicious. The dinner's ready. My guests are about to arrive in about 5 minutes, so I'm gonna get myself out this apron, get changed, and enjoy my hard work. So this is the point that we need to say goodbye. I hope you've enjoyed spending the day with me. I've loved showing you how I get ready for a dinner party, but it's time for you to go. See you soon.